live on 20 News with Frank Powers
and Joel Foster coming to you live from our studio in downtown Tucson. It's Friday, December 15th.
Casual Friday. It's a Christmas casual Friday. Jingle bells. There they go.
Let's talk local headlines.
Arizona charter schools have discriminatory admissions policies, according to the new report by the state's ACLU chapter. The ACLU investigated 471 charter schools in the state, according to the ACLU's Steve Killar, who claims that charter schools in the state use subtle tactics to discourage unwanted students, such as those with bad grades or test scores. The report also shows that some schools refuse enrollment unless parents commit to volunteering or donating money. However, Killar says that Arizona law is very clear that charter schools are supposed to enroll any student unless the school is at capacity or the student has previously been expelled. Killar said that at least 6 charter schools placed an enrollment cap on the number of students with special education needs, which he claims is a clear violation of state and federal law. But Eileen Sigmund, the president of Arizona Charter Schools Association, disagreed with the findings, saying that the Arizona charter schools are open to all students. She added, as long as they have high test scores, donate to the school, and have good hand-eye coordination and high cheekbones. Very important.
Very important. Be a good student. A judge sided with former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio in a case that pitted him against the son of Arizona Senator Jeff Flake. The case involved a claim of malicious prosecution against Arpaio when he went after Austin Flake over a now-dismissed animal cruelty case. Back in 2014, Austin Flake and his wife were watching a kennel for a family friend when many of the animals died after the air conditioning unit failed. Arpaio sought to implicate Flake in the animals' deaths. A court later dismissed the case when the kennel's owners came forward and admitted that the air conditioning unit wasn't maintained. However, this came after evidence showed that Arpaio had been keeping tabs on Austin to see whether he talked to his father, Senator Jeff Flake. This happened despite Arpaio being unable to provide any evidence to back up the charges against Austin Flake. The case was launched against Arpaio because the sheriff has been sparring with Jeff Flake for years over Arpaio's immigration policies. The case hinged on whether Arpaio ordered the surveillance in retaliation over Flake's disagreements. However, a jury sided with Arpaio, finding that he didn't coerce detectives or prosecutors into pressing charges against Austin Flake and his wife. This is the second bullet that Arpaio's dodged this year. Earlier in 2017, Arpaio was found guilty for disobeying a court order in regards to his controversial immigration posse. But before he was able to serve his 6-month sentence, the president came to his rescue and pardoned Arpaio. Next month, Arpaio looks forward to his next trial, where he will face charges of using the sheriff's office to create a game called Duck, Duck, Deport.
Oh, I remember that game from school, I think. That was exactly how that went, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, someone's goose is cooked, that's for sure. So, an appeals court upheld a Pima County deal to allow the high-altitude balloon company, Worldview, to set up a facility south of Tucson International Airport. The Board of Supervisors voted in January of 2016 to front $14.5 million to build the factory and a launch facility. In return, Worldview agreed to pay rent for 20 years to repay the county's cost. The county was later sued by the Goldwater Institute over the Worldview lease because they allegedly bypassed requirements for collective bidding. However, the judges ruled that Economic Development Authority trumps state bidding rules and that the project can move forward. The 3-judge panel said that the county did not break state laws in directly negotiating the 2016 lease with the company. Goldwater representatives say that they will appeal the decision in the state Supreme Court. They say that the judge's decision allows for secret backroom deals between the county and businesses and that it opened the door to greater government abuse. But Judge Peter Eckerstrom ruled the Arizona's economic development law allows counties to lease property at less than full market value if there's a demonstrated benefit to taxpayers. If the benefit is shown, then the company may not have to go through the competitive bidding process. The case opens up the doors to Worldview, who will provide balloon rides for merely $75,000 per passenger. Wait a minute, I'm not as impressed anymore. So not only will taxpayers probably end up getting screwed when Worldview claims bankruptcy, but we'll also have rich people flying over the city in balloons like we live in a steampunk novel. Just gazing over all the golf courses, just golf courses and balloon rides for all in Tucson. What a joy.
The little ants below.
That's right, just scurrying about.
All right. Local Democrats allege that Representative Martha McSally may have violated campaign finance rules in her upcoming possible U.S. Senate run. Democrats filed a complaint with the Federal Election Commission, or the FEC, alleging that McSally unofficially spent money on polling for her Senate run. McSally is yet to announce that she's running for Senate, so using money for that purpose could be illegal under election finance rules. Joe Holt filed the complaint, arguing that McSally spent $5,000 in seeking the Senate seat by conducting the poll. Democrats maintain that she hired a polling firm to gauge her name recognition for the statewide race. However, McSally didn't file new campaign paperwork with the FEC, indicating her plans to run for Senate before a 15-day deadline expired. Federal law requires that candidates to file statements with the FEC within 15 days of raising $5,000 or spending that amount, according to the complaint. McSally claims that she did not break any FEC rules and claims that she initiated the poll just to see if people liked her because she was curious.
That's what I use Facebook for, really.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder.
Get a Facebook page, McSally, let's go. Work on them likes, thumbs ups. So the National Labor Relations Board overruled an Obama-era decision on Thursday that would have put employers on the hook for labor law violations committed by subcontractors in a 3-2 decision. The Republican-led board overruled the decision to consider a subcontractor to be a joint employer if the company has indirect control over the conditions of employment. This means now that if a subcontractor violates a labor law, the company will not be held responsible, even if they potentially had knowledge of the violations. This issue crops up in a construction and textile industries often, where underage workers are sometimes used or workers are forced to work unpaid overtime. Representative Bradley Byrne passed legislation last month to reverse the ruling and permanently change the definition of an employer in the NLRA and the Fair Labor Standards Act. Business groups have claimed that the ruling put an undue burden on employers who may not be aware of their subcontractors' violations. The National Restaurant Association was one of the biggest cheerleaders of the reversal and praised the board's decision. Leaders threw a gala event to celebrate the ruling and used 12-year-old homeless children to serve the hors d'oeuvres, or those hors d'oeuvres, I think that's pronounced.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Hors d'oeuvres, yes.
There you go. And I heard they were delicious.
Delicious.
All right. Net neutrality, you know we got to talk about it.
Boo.
Yeah, but hear this. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman announced that he will sue the FCC to block the end of net neutrality rules. So let's see how this goes. The FCC ruled on Thursday they were ending the net neutrality protections, which forbid internet providers from favoring particular sites and slowing down others. Schneiderman made the announcement moments after the FCC vote, saying that, quote, the FCC just gave big telecom an early Christmas present. Schneiderman has argued that the agency should have delayed its vote because of millions of fake comments posted on the FCC's call for public feedback. But the FCC declined to postpone the vote because it was so urgent and voted along party lines to end the protections. Guess which party voted to end the protections? Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson also announced that he would sue to block the end of net neutrality rules. This morning, people complained that both Schneiderman and Ferguson's website were running really slow and sometimes failing to load. Some also became confused when their sites were replaced by FCC Chairman Ajit Pai holding up his middle fingers to the user.
That guy is I think, as far as the years going, there's been a front runner for least favorite. I think. Let's not name names, but boy, this guy sure started to win the unpopularity contest right at the last leg of the race. Pretty good time for that fella.
By a nose.
Yeah. So a group of prominent Republicans have joined a push to overhaul rules for addressing sexual harassment in the U.S. Congress. The group signed on to a bill that would protect victims and require lawmakers to pay for their own settlements. What a novel idea. This month's reports revealed that Congress set up a fund to settle sexual harassment suits using taxpayer money. The news was met with uproar at a time when we learn about new congressional creeps every day. Every single day, it seems. The bill requires any member of Congress found liable for harassment to pay settlements themselves rather than with taxpayer funds. Why is this a new idea? Which probably should have already been the law in the first place. Yes, both parties have signed, let's calm down. Both parties have signed on to the current legislation, which would overhaul the process for handling misconduct allegations that many lawmakers say is stacked against the victims. The Senate bill draws from proposal from Senator Christian Gillibrand and Representative Jackie Speier. Republican co-sponsors include John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, Joni Ernst, and Lisa Murkowski. But to be fair, Ted Cruz can't sexually harass women because he doesn't have any human private parts. He's like an unsexy Ken doll. It's really it. It's disgusting down there. It's probably just a mess.
Well said. All right, and I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about the program you're watching right now. Here at 5 on 20, we're undertaking a new kind of citizen journalism. We're going to give you the news as we see it.
That's right.
And we want more people to speak up with us. We need
comes
writers, hosts, anchors, camera people, sound people.
Yeah, it's not
whole
like
gammon.
Yeah.
The times require a new way
this is
of
not
informing ourselves.
the shelter's down the road. Sir, please, we're trying to shoot having a film news. Sir, my word.
All right.
Everyone comes down to volunteer at Creative Tucson, and you can too. Just
Yeah.
anyone, obviously.
Yep, exactly. Anyone, do it. Do it now. Email us at info@creativetucson.org to get involved. And if you think there's a story we're missing, a person we should interview, an upcoming event we should cover, or have any news tips for us, shoot us an email at creativetucson.org.
info@creativetucson.org, that is.
That's the one. We're here for you, and we want to cover all stories from all points of view. Please don't be strangers. info@creativetucson.org.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all the social media accounts for the latest Creative Tucson news and content. Feel free to bother us again at creativetucson.org. And now, I think we should get down to some business again. Christmas business? Hang on a second, Christmas business. That fella missed the Christmas business segment, which is the really good.
Put on my business attire here.
Some of this Christmas business, because there's some fun stuff happening down here at Creative Tucson.
It's exciting.
Oh, man.
See if I can get this on here.
This guy.
Yeah, it's, you know.
All right, I won't wait for him. Listen, here's what happened. Me and this fella right here that do Casual Friday every single week for you, we got together and started doing a fun idea called the 24.5-hour Tucson Christmas Extra Special. And guess what? We did it. We filmed that thing in we wrote an outline on Wednesday, a script for the rest of the week.
A 40-page script, by the way.
I think 46. He's cutting himself. 46-page script, I believe. All the way up until, I believe, Sunday morning at 6 a.m. that thing got finished. And then we woke up 6 hours later at some point, and then boom, there it was. Christmas begins, and we started filming a Christmas special right here at Creative Tucson down at the studio.
Using all of our newscasters, all of the help that we have behind the scenes.
Yep, a lot of fun people from the whole area of what we're doing, from everyone from here at Creative Tucson, and some people from around doing lots of stuff, local comedians, local people having fun, and that's what we did. So what you're gonna see on Christmas is this, a very special presentation right on this channel. 24.5 hours of Christmas specials, original content, comedy sketches, Scrooge, Bob Cratchit, puppets and Muppets, lots of fun stuff, and it's presented by, of all things, the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. So we're super proud of what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. Please, on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day, we've given you not only something to watch, but something to hang out to. So hang out with us on Christmas Day and all Christmas Eve. The Humane Society the Humane Society of Southern Arizona presents the Tucson Christmas Extra Special. Oh, I screwed it up again. How's it go, Joel? He's almost got it. We worked on this one.
The Humane Society of Southern Arizona presents the 2017 24.5 hours.
Joel worked on it. What are you doing? Okay, no. I believe it's this. The Humane Society of Southern Arizona presents the 24.5-hour Tucson Christmas Extra Special right here on Creative Tucson Channel 20, and you can watch it wherever you travel on creativetucson.org. Just hit that live button. That's right. So I think we did it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Sounds good?
I'm
Hope
excited.
you hang out with us on Christmas. So I'm Frank Powers.
Joel Foster.
This was 5 on 20 News. Thanks for watching. Stay creative, Tucson.